Today I'm going to make a punch tong, but I'll do it in my rivet-less style. And this style is not necessarily for holding only punches, it's just for holding any sort of stock perpendicular to the length of the tong. Anyway, I've never made a rivet-less punch style tong, and so I figured I'd give it a go. And by the way, I'm making this tong for good customer and long-term Patreon supporter, Alex Scott. I use this smaller swage depression on this larger block to tighten up those half rounds a little bit. I need to give a shout out to two guys for their recent generous donations. They are Clint's Hobbies DIY and Ron Thacker. Thanks so much, fellas. May your hammer blows always strike true. So at this point, the two halves diverge and I work on each separately. Two tong blanks diverged in a forge, and that has made all the difference. At this point, I just progressively drift this hole bigger. We've been having biblical style rain out here for about the past week, and the blacksmith bird has been driving me crazy with wanting to be constantly fed.
Constantly eat. Back, Jack. Jeez. Let me drop it, will you? Hey, fool. You get 3 pieces, that's all you get. Sit. No more. Hit the road, Jack.
That bird is my good buddy, but he's been driving me bananas wanting to eat bananas, sitting right next to my shoulder as I'm hammering. I can't count how many times I have to get up to feed him during one forge session. I want to create a slight recess on the other blank now, the blank that passes through. So I just want to be as accurate as possible and mark the location. I have just enough flat space on these dies to create this recess. I really need to make myself a pair of dedicated flat dies for this jig. The fronts of the jaws need to be taken down just a little bit. He wants to hold approximately 11mm stock with this pair of tongs. Adjusting this style of tong can be a little bit tricky. You need to heat and then cool back accordingly, otherwise one side will want to bend more than the other, which is the case here as I start out. This punch I have here is exactly 11mm, and so I'm using that to size this tong. There's always a little bit of play with this style of rivetless tong, and I've found that with a tong that's to hold stock in line with the length straight out, that can be beneficial because it seems to give you a little bit of extra range. But for this style here, a punch style tong, I was thinking the jaws might not line up well enough. However, that doesn't seem to be the case. I think this might also benefit from having a little bit of play. So here you can see what I'm saying about having a little bit of play in the pivot area, which affects the jaws. However, when grabbing a piece of suitable stock, it seems to be self-centering on that stock, so should be fine. If Alex has any problems though, I'll make it right. I don't know why I've been drawing temper colors on jaw ends of tongs of late. Just seems to be my latest fad. So here's two of my own Misfit Island style rivetless tongs that I use a lot. Even though this is meant to be a fixed pivot, after some use it's developed quite a bit of play, but that's actually benefited that tong. This one here, the dimples are deeper and it has a bit less play. Nowadays I don't put that dimple in, but rather I shorten up the recessed area. And that seems to have the same effect. No matter what you do, no matter how many years you do it, everything always seems to be a work in progress. And in large part, that's what keeps you going. Thanks for watching. Got a lot more fooling around to do.